Hi guys, Best Self with Jen Sprague here, your happy health coach, and love to talk today about the nervous system. Yay, regulating your nervous system and how it plays into sovereignty. Sovereignty has been a big theme for me lately. It's been coming up, and I so appreciate this new way of being to use in language and also to address myself with and my clients, of course, and the work that we do. So, what does the nervous system has to do with sovereignty? Well, what I would love to remind us is that the nervous system is constantly working for us, keeping us alive, bringing in information, input from our environment, and it's always filtering for us because we can't possibly pay attention to all the bits of information that it is making available to us. So it filters what's important. And so it really behooves us to have a regulated nervous system because that will help control what bits of information get in. So if it's regulated, meaning parasympathetic. Let's talk about parasympathetic, sympathetic, just remind ourselves. Sympathetic is like fight or flight, stress, put on the acceleration, the gas, get ready to mobilize and be energetic. Parasympathetic is like peaceful. I'm resting, I'm digesting, I have energy to heal. There's no crisis, there's no problem. I am in a mode to receive creativity, downloads, solve problems uniquely. It's the state we'd prefer to be in most often. We love the sympathetic state. We need that sometimes, but for small amounts of time, acute stress situations. We do not want chronic stress. So that's why regulating our nervous system is so valuable. We would love to be in a calm, parasympathetic state. So we have access to creativity because that's what we're here for. We're not here to just escape everything. So Jen Sprague right here was in that chronic state of sympathetic for many years, and it took a toll on the body because that state and that adrenaline, that cortisol causes your body to use energy in a way that's not sustainable. So then eventually it takes it from your tissues and your systems start to speak to you and tell you something's wrong and you're sick for some reason. Okay, so that's the other negative side effect of being in chronic stress or anxiety or in that sympathetic state. So, we love to learn how to regulate our nervous system to get into that parasympathetic state at will and to stay there for most of the time. That's what we prefer because then we can be creative. And then our brain can filter in information that is expansive, information that is leading us toward our goals, information that is inspiring to us, tidbits that aligned with positivity versus scanning the environment for a problem. That's the sympathetic nervous system, looking for what's going wrong all the time. Who's been there? We all have. It's in our innate wiring. We're kind of made for that negativity bias to look for what's going wrong. So we get to figure out how to be regulated. And it's a lot easier said than done. And so, what I've been experiencing lately is like the amount of time it really takes to train your brain to feel normal in a parasympathetic state. If you are like me, who has fell victim to our culture of achievement, 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 go, go, go. Being busy is a badge of honor. That culture cultivates the sympathetic nervous system. So it doesn't feel natural to be relaxed. In fact, sometimes it feels uncomfortable, or we even feel feelings of guilty or shame because I'm relaxing, or I feel relaxed, or I feel calm, or I feel content. It just doesn't even feel normal, right? So I'm here to tell you that that's normal. If you have a goal to start to address your nervous system and your health through your nervous system, then just be ready for that. You're going to be practicing meditation, or you're going to be practicing yoga, or you're going to be practicing watching nature. You're going to be practicing something, sitting still and just being present, or reading, or whatever it is that you're going to try to help you relax with. It's going to feel odd, awkward, not natural, and you're going to want to quit. because it doesn't feel comfortable. It's not familiar. So just be ready for that. And then you're just going to keep doing it. You're going to move past it and you're going to find the things that help you feel regulated. In the last 4 days for me, it's been nature. It's always nature, but I've been able to go swimming. Sturgeon River, Lake Huron, and Bostwick Lake, which I live near. I've so loved just um, being able to go swimming, be submerged in different bodies of water, which is fun for Jenny loves to explore. So that's how I've been regulating my nervous system. Just leave feeling my body, not only feeling like refreshed, cleansed, but it stabilizes the nervous system, grounding, having your feet on the bare earth. Um, Through metabolism, we have an excess of electrons. Um, and so, well, actually, we need electrons. We lose them. We have an excess of positive charge. So it's called the electron deficiency syndrome. And it just means that you've been going through a lot of metabolism, you haven't grounded yourself because you're kind of an electrical being. And we used to, our ancestors, ground on the earth naturally all day long, just be connected to the earth with our feet and whatever we're touching. The earth is negatively charged, go figure. So it naturally grounds us. But the water is the quickest way. So more than you can imagine, just being totally surrounded by Mother Nature, negatively charged water, soak it up. So that's how I've been regulating myself lately. Nature. I love summer. Summer's not over yet. And finding whatever body of water I'm near and spending time with my friends. I got to see some loved ones like my aunt and uncle this weekend. So that's also very good for for the nervous system. Okay, now just to tie this in and introduce briefly here, because we're going to do more about this later, but just to briefly start introducing this concept of sovereignty versus responsibility. I kind of introduced it in my last Insider a couple weeks ago, email that goes out to my crew. And being responsible is kind of, I've been independent most of my life, pretty independent, but sometimes it's a detriment. I do things alone. I should ask for help. I'm not regulated. I am more comfortable in the stress state of like crisis mode. I get more things done. I'm responsible, being responsible adult when I'm busy and moving into sovereignty, which is this regal, graceful, dignified way of being responsible, I imagine. That's kind of how I imagine it, right? Like sovereignty, like a king or a queen, you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what I imagine, but knocking up my responsibility a notch to where I'm not just being responsible in the fact that caring for myself or keeping myself alive or being resourceful or having a career, but being sovereign in the decisions that I make and that I can discern between what is aligned with my integrity and my values versus what is being responsible according to culture or obligations that I might feel from those around me. It's basically like living in integrity with myself. So sovereignty. Can I discern when a decision is for me or for somebody else? And is this decision going to fill me with energy or deplete me of energy? So that's our cute little intro, a very important intro to this idea of sovereignty over responsibility. Yeah, we get to be responsible for ourselves 100%, but can we be sovereign? Can we just choose to live from our own code? Do you know your code? Can you live from your code? Because that's when you'll be energized. That's when you'll be satisfied. That's when you will be reaching your potential. And that's what we're here for. That's my favorite thing. So, if this is interesting to you, want to talk more about it, just get in touch with me. You can email me, sign up for your own discovery session. They're free. We can talk about your goals, your health, where you're losing energy in your life and it's depleting your health, your vitality, your ability to thrive, and what goals you have and how you can get there by being more sovereign. All right, that's it for today, kids. Health coach Jen Sprague signing out. I adore this concept, so join me. Join me in reclaiming our sovereignty. All right. Bye, guys.